Dakota Destinations on Midco Sports Network is presented by VisitPierSD.com.
Welcome to Dakota Destinations. 3 more ventures await us this week, and on this episode, our first destination starts with more recent news. Terry Redlin, one of America's most popular artists, passed away this past April. He was known for his scenic depictions of life and wildlife here in the Dakotas. Midco Sports' Alex Heinert takes us to his hometown in Watertown, South Dakota, where his legacy goes far beyond his artwork.
He started every tour with this painting, Lights of Home. It was his favorite. It reminded him of his childhood and especially his relationship with his mother. He said he learned at an early age that he never left a room without turning out the lights or he would be in trouble, and the only time all of the lights were left on in the house was when company was coming. And in this beautiful painting, Lights of Home, we see that all of the lights are on, and even the family dog knows that something's going to happen because he's at the end of the driveway waiting for the guests to arrive. Welcome to the sketch room. This room is filled with original pencil sketches done by Terry Redlin. These sketches are a variety of subject matters, some of which never actually made it into an original oil painting, but this is how Terry Redlin would practice or prepare for an original painting. He kind of called these his doodles. I wish my doodles could look like these. So this is the original sketch room. The painting Coming Home was truly a transition in the life and career of Terry Redlin. It was the very first time he'd launched a painting and unveiled a painting featuring people. Harvest Moon Ball is one of Terry Redlin's most popular paintings. If you look at the beautiful porch on the house, you'll find that that's where the older folks have gone. They believe the music in the barn dance is way too loud, so they've gotten as far away as possible and they're just enjoying the beautiful harvest moon.
All right, Julie, so what are some defining characteristics of a Terry Redlin painting? What makes a Terry Redlin a Terry Redlin?
For sure his light source. Whether it's a lamppost or a campfire, a beautiful sunset or a sunrise, that light source has become a signature in Terry Redlin's art. And in the early days, his focus was wildlife and the incredible detail and the realism that he was able to capture. But as his career evolved, it truly became the light source. Terry loved to capture light sources. It was his greatest challenge. He loved not only the light source itself, but the shadowing and everything that the light created.
So he obviously grew up in the upper Midwest in Watertown and grew up painting these amazing Midwest landscapes. What do you think drew him to the outdoors? Was it just that upbringing, being from here?
Born and raised here. It's what he knew. He grew up right here in Watertown, South Dakota, loved to hunt and fish. He told me many times he had an idyllic childhood, and so for him, he painted his own memories.
Terry was voted most popular painter in America. Why do you think his work has been so accepted across this country?
I think because his memories are our memories too. He painted art that we can all relate to, and often we have guests that come through the gallery and they'll stop at a particular painting and say, "Oh, I've been there. I know right where that is." And even though his paintings are not photographic, they do not capture a singular place, people connect with the art of Terry Redlin.
This museum has now become this great vehicle for people to share that art and that vision. It opened up in 1997. Just talk to us about how this gallery came about.
This was the inspiration of Terry's son, Charles. In the early 1980s, he went to Terry and said, "Dad, I think you're earning enough money now selling your prints. I'd like you to stop selling your original oil paintings so that someday I can build a building for your original paintings." And they sort of bantered back and forth about it a bit, but Charles was pretty committed to the idea. And in 1985, Terry stopped selling original paintings so that one day they could all be housed in one location. And the Art Center is here because this is Terry's gift back to his hometown of Watertown. When he was 15, he was a passenger on a motorcycle that was struck by a drunken driver, and as a result, he lost a leg. the state had a scholarship program for students with disabilities that awarded him $1,500 to use to continue his education. That's the only reason he was able to go to art school. He earned a degree as a graphic artist and went on to be a commercial artist for many years, and at the age of 40 started his career as a wildlife artist. And as his son presented the idea of a building, Terry said it needs to go back to Watertown, South Dakota to repay that $1,500 scholarship. So this is his thank you gift.
And what a gift.
Pretty good return on the investment.
Not too bad, yeah, I would say so. This building itself is kind of a work of art. The fact that it's up on a hill, this is such gorgeous architecture. Just talk about this area that this museum is in.
Again, all the credit for the building needs to go to Terry's son, Charles. The design was his idea. It's 52,000 square feet, surrounded on the exterior by 24 solid granite columns, and it definitely gives an impression of permanence, right?
Sure, yes,
it doesn't look like it's going anywhere, and that was his goal. He wanted it to be here for generations and generations. When you come into the Art Center, the same is true. Granite throughout the building, and the background is all black, gray, or white, so that the original paintings add all of the color.
Sure. You've been with the museum since the start, even before it got started. You just said
Yes.
your 20th anniversary. Just talk about your time here in this place and your time with Terry.
Oh, it's been an honor to represent Terry Redlin for 20 years. I had the privilege of working closely with him as the Art Center opened and for the first 10 years of its operation. Truly a gift. Incredibly kind and generous man, extremely humble. He could not believe people would come from so far away to see his art, and he wanted this to be his way of thanking his hometown and his home state, and he never lost sight of that. And so for me to be able to be here now that he's not able to be here to tell his own story, I consider that a tremendous gift.
Yeah. Last thing, do you think now with this building in place and this collection all together, is this Terry's legacy, or what do you think it is now that he's left?
To me, my job is this place, and this place to me will be his legacy, and my job will be to preserve and protect that legacy for as long as I'm here. But his legacy is the connection he's made with millions of people that have been collecting his art. He has really touched people's hearts through his art, and I think that's his lasting legacy.
Thanks to Midco Sports' Alex Heinert and Max Jensen for that story. If you'd like more information on the Redlin Art Center, you can visit the website that's listed below. The Art Center is open 7 days a week with limited hours on the weekend. Well, up next, we shift our focus to sports and talk about a road that's led to 6 championships this past season.
Dakota Destinations on Midco Sports Network is presented by VisitPierSD.com. Dakota Destinations on Midco Sports Network is presented by VisitPierSD.com.
Welcome back to Dakota Destinations. I-29 is a popular stretch of interstate that runs from Kansas City, Missouri, all the way to the tip of North Dakota. But if you're looking at the particular portion that runs just through the Dakotas, you'll notice an interesting theme that ends with trophies. It's a common phrase that success is paved with blood, sweat, and tears. Although 6 teams that live in the Dakotas may agree, they might also suggest success is paved on Interstate 29. 6 schools within a span of 376 miles have all won championships during the 2015-16 season. From Grand Forks, North Dakota, all the way down to Vermilion, South Dakota. That's a 5-hour and 37-minute difference with 4 trophies in between. 6 universities share the same roads, the winning road and I-29. Starting in North Dakota, these 2 schools are very familiar with banners and bright lights. UND Hockey added its 8th National Hockey Championship this season after dominating the NCAA playoffs and ending their season at the Frozen Four in Tampa, Florida with a 4-2 win over Denver and a 5-1 win over Quinnipiac. For 5 players on UND's hockey team, the dream season didn't just end with a trophy, but ended in contracts with the NHL. Just an hour and a half south of the Ralph stands the Fargo Dome, home to the NDSU Bison. Over their storied history, the Herd has won 13 national titles and are the first football program to have won 5 consecutive national championships. Their most recent victory in Frisco, Texas was against Jacksonville State and was at the hand of the NFL's second overall draft pick and now Philadelphia Eagle Carson Wentz. 2011, 12, 13, 14, and 15, all strung together with rings. 190 miles south and one border away is Brookings, South Dakota, and although no national title was won this year, the publicity from the hardwood was enough to catch the eye of America. Both the men and women's basketball teams won the Summit League championship and made the NCAA tournament. The men's team lost to Maryland, one of the highest graded number 5 seeds of the tournament. The women's team beat their number 5 seed Miami 74-71 and were 1 point away from a spot in the Sweet 16 before falling to Stanford. A legacy of hoops and hardware with a combined 10 conference titles has defined SDSU basketball over the past 8 years. Sioux Falls, another point of interest on I-29, made headlines earlier in the season after the Division II Augustana men's basketball team beat Big Ten Iowa on a last-second buzzer beater. An unbelievable shot foreshadowed much of their season. Like the Bison from Fargo, a trip to Frisco would become even more memorable with a shower of confetti, 36 games, and only 2 losses later, their program's first national championship. Another hour south brings you to Coyote Town in Vermilion. The women's basketball team was a Summit League favorite heading into the conference tournament. After beating SDSU twice earlier in the season, a Summit League title was in sight. The conference championship didn't end how the Yotes expected, but their season ended up being much more than they ever could have hoped. They entered the WNIT with a new focus and rolled over Creighton, Minnesota, Northern Iowa, Western Kentucky, and Oregon. A season woven with guts, glory, and grit turned a season disappointment into one of the greatest basketball runs in South Dakota history. A win over Florida Gulf Coast University 71-65 for the WNIT championship. It was a moment of redemption that left an even deeper impression on the national stage, providing evidence that mid-majors are a force to be feared. Six championships from 6 different teams that all align like stars on a stretch of interstate in the Midwest. And although segregated by school colors, fight songs, and culture, their seasons are all brought together by applause, praise, and gravel.
Up next, we head to Grand Forks, North Dakota to give you an in-depth tour of the facility that hosts the 2015-16 NCAA hockey champions. We'll be right back after this.
Dakota Destinations on Midco Sports Network is presented by VisitPierSD.com.
Welcome back to Dakota Destinations. Well, we've already given you a quick overview of UND's championship season, but now we head to Grand Forks to give you a look inside of their state-of-the-art home arena. Midco Sports' Katie Hill joins us now as our tour guide to give us a tour of the Ralph.
Hi, I'm Katie Hale, ice side at the Ralph Engelstad Arena. Recently, one of the most prestigious facilities in all of hockey received a $3.5 million upgrade. And here's your exclusive look inside the renovations. The entryway into the new facilities immediately sets the tone by honoring past North Dakota teams and players in their commitment to this program. It also serves as a reminder to both current and future players that once they become a member of the University of North Dakota hockey program, they become family. Once a person hits ice level, they'll find a hallway with pictures of all the former North Dakota players currently playing in the NHL, the national championship banners, pictures of players from UND who have won the Hobie Baker Award, and current team bios. This area was carefully planned as it serves to set the stage for entry into the team facilities. The entrance to the players' area is what the team calls the Jersey Hallway, and it is all about history and tradition. Each jersey showcase tells a story of an era or an individual. It also reminds every person that through these doors walk champions. The team meets in here throughout the week and utilizes the 80-inch smartboard to run video and game plans, as well as gathers here on game nights prior to the drop of the puck to lay out strategy. Coaches also work with players one-on-one in this classroom to further their development. We're now in the team lounge, which is really the hub of a player's daily life. There's a state-of-the-art kitchen, a large seating area as well, where players can just relax, do homework, or use one of several computers. And it's not all work when the players come to the rink, as the lounge also features a gaming area and a ping pong table. Now, this is the room where very important meetings are held, including when coaches are meeting with a recruit. That's why you see the names of some of the greatest who have played or coached here for this program on the wall. And get this, when they need privacy, immediately outside the locker room is the equipment area, where staff outfit the players with anything they need to succeed. Sticks, tape, gear, you name it, it's here. Located adjacent to the locker room is the over 10,000 square foot weight room, including the most complete off-ice development area in all of hockey. Should a player suffer an injury, they're in good hands here in the training room that boasts the most up-to-date medical technology. The staff, made up of trainers and a team physician, have 2 private doctor rooms with medical equipment such as X-ray machines, where they can immediately diagnose an injury and begin to make a game plan for recovery. The team locker room also got a complete overhaul, and what resulted was a room unlike any other. The locker room is oval in shape, specifically redesigned so that everyone in here can have eye contact. Each player sits on a leather seat, and the individual cubbies have magnetic skate holders, among other highlights of this custom-designed locker room. Also included in the locker room is a technology center with an 80-inch TV and smartboard where video can be run all throughout the week as well as during games. Past the technology center are dry lockers, showers, and a steam room and hot tub. All throughout the team's facilities are mementos of its rich history, as well as a call to action for its current players to add to the storied tradition.
If you'd like to visit the Ralph, be sure to check out UND's upcoming 2016-17 schedule, and that can be found on the website that's listed below. Well, that's all we have for you on this week's episode. Be sure to join us next week for more Dakota Destinations.